Hartfield here, Inland Empire TMS, back for another episode. Today we have Shane. Shane came to, when did you finish TMS actually?
September.
September. I think it was September-ish, okay?
End of September.
Shane, first tell me what brought you to Inland Empire TMS?
What initially brought me was I'm an addict and alcoholic. First and foremost, I got depression, anxiety. If you have a checkbox for ailments, you can check it off for me.
Okay.
And I had heard of you through a mutual friend of ours named Diane Hoffman.
Mm-hmm.
She had told me to go talk to you about a year prior.
That's right.
And I had spoke to you, but I had some hesitation in coming to see you, just not knowing what TMS was. And I didn't really research it at the time. So
Yes.
it was one of those things where I didn't know what to think of it. And so the second time I got in touch with you, I did some more research, and that's when I started to realize the benefits that, hey, there could be something out there where I don't have to take a pill or take some type of medication to try to make myself feel better.
And that's exactly how I remember it, right? And I remember looking back at our text. When you contacted me, it was about a year later. I was like, who is this? And I scrolled back in the text and I saw about a year prior, I had sent you one of my videos.
Yep.
And we had talked briefly, and then you went dark. In that time, you've been to rehab?
Yeah, multiple times.
Multiple rehabs.
Yeah.
Okay. You already touched on the fact you are an addict, alcoholic?
Yeah, both of them. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Any mind altering substance.
Anything and everything.
Yes.
The kitchen sink.
The kitchen sink. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. When you finally came in the door, you were sober.
Yes.
Right?
Correct. Yeah. I had been sober probably about 3 months after that.
Okay.
Yeah. I had relapsed. I was starting to take weed and smoke weed and ate edibles and that kind of thing again. And then I had quit that. So it was, I think, about 3 months of sobriety.
Okay.
Off of everything.
How are you today?
I'm amazing.
Okay. I meant sobriety wise.
Oh, sobriety wise?
Yes.
No, I'm doing really well. I'm sober. My biggest ailment was I wasn't able to sleep after doing TMS. That's changed. My head hits the pillow now and I fall asleep, which used to never happen.
Yeah.
I never thought that was a possibility. And I sleep through the night. That's another thing. I used to wake up at least 4, 5, 6 times a night, almost every hour. And after TMS, it was like I slept through the night. It was within literally weeks of doing it. I noticed the benefit. I wouldn't even say weeks. It was within the first 2 weeks. Yeah, maybe 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And it was like, I was astonished. I was absolutely astonished with the benefit from it.
When you started this, you were medicated. And I remember you complaining and not wanting to do that.
Yeah, correct. Right. I still am on some medications, but after getting off TMS or after finishing my TMS cycle, I'll call it, I literally reduced my medication intake by half. And got off 2 medications that they had me on.
Okay.
So yeah.
And you feel that is, I mean, obviously some of us need medication, right?
Oh yeah.
But you feel like you've got your meds at a maintainable level.
Oh, definitely manageable point now. It's not, I don't feel over medicated anymore like I was feeling.
Nice.
Even I would say when doing the TMS, probably in the latter part of it, I started to notice my medications felt even more sedating. And I don't know if that was because the TMS was, quote unquote, healing my brain and getting my body back to a normal operating standard. But I just felt like I was more heavily sedated at the end of TMS, ironically. So that's what made me reduce the medication intake.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you did that safely with doctors?
Yes, correct.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Absolutely.
Sobriety. How is it? How is TMS post TMS with your sobriety? Have you noticed any benefits to that aspect of life?
Yes. Well, what do you mean by that? Sorry.
So for me, right, I don't do meetings. I'm just sober.
Yeah.
And that's just how I live life. Life is beautiful, right?
Yes. Yes.
Um,
Okay.
that's kind of what I mean. I know you went to rehab, right? And in rehab, they're going to teach you 12 steps, clean recovery, all those wonderful things,
Yeah.
right? I'm not taking anything away from those organizations,
Yeah.
groups, meetings, but are those things that you do?
Yes, I do participate in AA.
Wonderful.
But that's actually a good comparison. I was sober for about 9 months in 2023, from about April to December.
Yeah.
From that sobriety stint to this sobriety, I'll call it, is night and day, because with the TMS, I feel that it definitely, like, there's not this like lingering feeling of wanting to. It almost removed my obsession to quote unquote use. That's what I would like to say.
Yeah.
It removed this feeling in my mind that it's like, oh, I need to go take something. I need to go take something. And that's whether it's an Advil or, a Percocet or whatever it is,
Right.
whatever I was craving, or, my mind just always wanted something.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like the TMS has helped kind of remove that feeling of want, which I was astonished with.
More of wanting to escape your brain.
Yes, there you go.
Right?
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
Yes, like wanting to escape the feeling of feeling.
Because that's what it was for me, right? When I wanted to use, I was bored, I was anxious, I was depressed. I didn't want to feel this anymore.
Yes.
And so I would reach for whatever it was, whatever substance I had access to, just like you, right?
Yep.
And post TMS, that was no longer there.
Yes.
And that's kind of what I'm hearing. Am I right?
Yeah, 100%.
Wonderful.
You hit the nail on the head. It does. It removes that want and that craving, craving that you're needing something in your body.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that lingered in 2023, and I fought that off by going to meetings a lot.
Right.
Now, if I miss a meeting, it's like, okay, I'm fine. It's amazing. I don't freak out, like, oh, if something interrupts my routine that I normally have, because I do like I have a home group meeting I go to in AA that
awesome.
I enjoy. But it's, if I go once a week, that's okay. If I go 5 times a week, that's okay. It doesn't, there's no effect there anymore, to where it would really stress me out if I didn't.
There is importance to sticking to your routine, right? And carrying that on a daily basis. But I understand what you're saying is, if you miss that, because you're a business owner, right? And I do want to get into that too. But if you miss that meeting, it's not the end of the world. You're not going to end up having a drink or chasing a bag.
Yeah.
Right. Where
Correct.
prior.
Oh, it was that was there.
Yes.
That was a scary reality that could happen.
Mm-hmm.
And it was always lingering in the back of my mind. Yeah, 100%.
And so with multiple rehabs under your belt, do you feel that TMS, well, let's talk about that. TMS versus rehab. How do you feel about that?
Oh, I would say TMS all day. Rehab's good for getting sober.
Yes.
But when I was in TMS, I was telling my wife, I wish they did TMS at rehab.
What a concept.
Because the benefits of the getting your brain back onto that cognitive level that you need it to be,
mm-hmm.
and doing that in a non-medication way again, is just, I think, is like, why would you not do that?
Right?
Why would you not do that? But
mm-hmm.
of course, there's bigger forces that are at work that don't want that to happen.
Yes.
So,
yes.
But that was something that me and my wife talked about heavily. I was like, why this should be literally the number one treatment in rehab, You know, they should be giving everybody this because this would benefit everybody. I feel like it serves multiple things, multiple purposes. If you have multiple ailments like I had, you know, depression, anxiety, tendonitis in your ears from ringing in the ears, or just a whole bunch of things. I have all these things that are now
PTSD.
PTSD
right
from things that have happened. It just it all goes it's scary to say, but it's almost magical in a way that it goes away. And it's crazy how your brain isn't, to think of it, your brain isn't firing correctly. So with TMS, you get that brain firing correctly, and it's like, oh my God, things actually start working. Your cognitive abilities start working better. Your memory starts working better. Your just daily functions in life. You're happier. It's an amazing thing when that happens.
When it all starts with sleep, right?
Yes.
You get a good night's sleep, and it's amazing what the next day is like.
Yes.
When you just suffer through like we both did, hour on, wake up, hour on, wake up. Your next day, you don't have a chance. You truly don't have a chance, and you're just fighting to get through a day. Where when you get a good night's sleep, it's like, okay, what can I accomplish today, right?
Yeah.
You touched on marriage. How's marriage today? Well, hold on. How was marriage prior?
Hard. Really hard.
Father of how many?
5 kids.
5 kids.
Yeah.
That's hard in itself, right?
Yeah.
What are the ages?
Oldest is 13. Next age is 12, and then 5, 3, and then 1.
Spread out.
Yes.
So 5 children from 1 to 13 years old.
Yep.
On top of just that alone is hard, but then managing marriage as well, right? And that bond, it's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Let's start with fatherhood. How's fatherhood changed for you?
Being present as a father. That's the biggest thing that I've noticed. Being present and being able to spend time with my kids, and not totally be medicated, or totally be doped up, I'll call it.
Yeah.
Or be fiending for something because I can't just be happy within the moment. I can just sit there and play with them, and it's okay to be playing with them, or they could be watching their soccer game or their football game or basketball game, whatever it may be. And I can enjoy that moment and take it in now. Whereas before it was, where's my next drink? Where's my next drug? Where's my next this?
Yeah.
Or, I got it's night and day different. Night and day different.
I love it. I love that so much, which obviously in turn is going to help your marriage.
Yes.
But let's talk on that. How is your relationship with your wife today? I had the chance of meeting that beautiful woman. Right?
Yes,
obviously a supportive and patient woman.
Yes.
God bless her.
Absolutely.
But how are things with her today?
Night and day different too. Our relationship has probably been the strongest it's been in the 8 years we've been together now, coming up on 8 years. Yeah. It's and I can't even put it into words. It's magical. It's amazing. Our bond is like just unbreakable right now.
Most beautiful.
Yeah, and before it was just it was rocky, and it was rocky because of my using, and there was a lot of things that I had put her through that had caused that. But
of course,
I used to have a really bad
addictions.
I used to have a really bad habit where I'd wake up at 3 a.m, and that's when I would go use in the garage real quick. And she knew what I was doing, but she never really said anything. So when I would wake up through the night, that was always a trigger for her. And once I started sleeping, once I started sleeping after I started doing TMS, it was like, for her, that was the biggest relief I think I've ever seen happen, physically happen, where she was like, wow, this is actually working for you.
Yeah. Well, and that's going to relieve her anxiety right there, right?
Yes.
Where's he going? Is he going to be okay? Because I can only imagine at 3 a.m. what you're doing in the garage. It's not something to stay up.
No, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what you're doing is obviously dangerous and most likely in today's world, life-threatening.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
So is he even going to make it back inside?
Mm-hmm.
And she doesn't have to worry about that today.
No.
Because you're just sleeping through the night.
Yeah.
Which is so cool, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Such a blessing. And that's generational healing right there that we're talking about. Not just with your wife, but your wife's lowering her anxiety, right? Which is going to help her be a better mom to those 5 children. But those 5 children aren't going to have to deal with daddy's an addict.
No, 100%. 100%. That's the big, they have become my biggest cheerleaders, and I'm open with them. I'm very open with them about my addictions and what's out there. And they just had red ribbon week. So we talked a lot about that. And, it's about being open and honest with them. And hey, this shit's real. This shit's out there. And, there is, if you have issues and you have problems going on, there's a way that we can help you take care of it.
Yes.
But you can avoid a lot of things by preventing this from happening in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So
a lot of pain.
Yeah, a lot of pain.
Wasted years.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
In between the two of us, my goodness.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
So much time, so much money, so much pain.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
I thank you for sharing that. That's a big one for me. I'm also very open with my kids, right? I mean, my kids could punch on YouTube and see daddy talking about his cocaine habit, which isn't something people would think, but are they going to hear it from me? Or are they going to hear it from somebody else?
No,
I'd rather them hear it from me.
Yeah.
Because no matter what, it's going to come. And those things are out there today. And it's unfortunate, but that's the world that we live in. So good on you for being open with them.
Yeah. Thank you.
No one's going to show them or treat them better than you can.
No, 100%.
Teach them,
Yeah.
And that's life experience, man. I don't know about you, but that's how I have my knowledge is life experience.
Yes.
And going through, running into that wall 15 times to say, man, maybe I shouldn't run into that thing again.
Yes.
But that's how I learned. Yeah. So marriage is good. Family's good.
Yes.
Business. When I met you, entrepreneur, business owner.
Yeah.
Struggling.
Yeah.
Struggling.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We tuned up your brain. And what has happened since?
We actually are sold it. We're in the process, or we're pretty much done. Papers are being signed within the next week or so. But yeah, we're getting out of it. It was something that was going into the ground, and I say that not because of our doing, just it's been a slow market for the industry we're in.
Mm-hmm.
And before I was trying to hold on to that business with dear life, thinking I can't let this go.
Yes.
And to kind of link it back to TMS, my ability to now step back and say, what's actually good for myself and my family has been renewed. So I can basically say, hey, you know what? This isn't a good move for my family anymore. It's time for me to get out.
Yes.
And so we decided to sell, and it's a blessing, and we're letting, I always like to say it's a blessing, and we're letting the curse go.
Well, so going through that, okay, because I've been through this as well, right? Running a company, owning a company, and being as involved in it as you were, it becomes your life.
Mm-hmm.
And once you're in it, and especially when you're struggling, the hole that you can actually see gets so small.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just trying to fight your way through it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And eventually, you're just like, I'm stuck in this and I have to fight through. But when you take a step back, you're like, wait, there's so many other options here.
Yeah.
And you're saying TMS that not only you don't have to go through it, but there's a smarter way, right? And your brain was firing and be like, wait, let's take this way. Because going through it was most likely going to kill you anyways, right?
No, 100%,
lead to a relapse. So many things, right? Continue to fight that fight. And I remember when you told me that you were going to sell it, I was so happy for you, man, because I know what a relief that is.
Yeah.
And just the pressure coming off, and there's so many things that go with that, the attachment, the daily grind that you go through, and like, am I going to miss it? How am I going to get by? Right?
Yeah.
Noise, chatter in the brain. But once you let it go, you're like, oh my goodness, look at this.
Yeah.
Life is beautiful, right?
Yes.
There's so many things that you're able to do. You're still a young man,
Yeah.
So many things that you can do to keep on going on, man. What other benefits have you seen from TMS?
I would like to touch on the tendonitis or the tinnitus.
Yeah, okay.
The ear ringing.
I like that one.
Yeah, I've had ear ringing from probably in high school. I had a lower grade of it.
Okay.
But it's always been there and it never bugged me too bad. As I started to get older and was taking medications because of my addictions and stuff like that, and because of my addiction, I've noticed that it got worse. So when I was using, it was really bad. And I would come off any of those drugs and it was there. It was pretty present.
Okay. Constant?
Just a constant. Woo,
wow.
Yeah. After doing TMS, I do not have any of that. It's gone. It's amazing.
I remember watching that score drop.
Yeah.
Right. When we go through this, and that's one thing people don't realize, that ringing in the ears is not normal.
Yeah.
That's not something that should be happening.
Yeah.
Right. And you just get used to it. From the sounds of it, using made it so much worse. And I can't even imagine it being constant. Right. Most of us get it for a little bit. Right. And it goes away.
Yeah.
And it's manageable. But from what you're saying, that's hardcore.
Yeah, no, it was it would go all the time. And that was, I think, part of the reason it would take me going to sleep was an issue too.
Of course.
I kind of link it back to that. I would hear that ringing and it would just be like, oh my God, just shut up.
Madness.
Yeah, that madness. And it's gone now. And now the first time I went to sleep and when I went to bed and I didn't have it, and it was like, this is what it's like. This is what it's like to fall asleep without ringing in my ears, so quiet.
What about, because with that, I would imagine you probably, like myself, have dealt with brain chatter in general, right? Most of your life.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
How has that changed?
The voice inside my head I talk with it now. It doesn't talk for me.
Oh.
Yeah.
I love the way you put that.
Yeah. I talk with it now. We have a good, healthy conversation now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Instead of it telling me everything and anything that's going on and that the world's going to end and life's coming, or just how your brain.
Did the tone change?
Yes. That's what I mean by how the conversation is a lot more mutual.
Yeah.
It is night and day difference there too. God, if I could just take a checkbox of all the things that, like I said, were bad when I came in and that were good now when I came out, would go, this is a different person. This is a different person.
And so with that, you didn't come to TMS for all of those check boxes, huh?
No.
Did you imagine all those check boxes would get unchecked?
No.
No, right?
No.
Just a couple of them. Just take care of a couple of these boxes for me, please.
That's what
yeah. And we took care of those couple boxes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then there was just another box gone, huh?
Yeah. And
then another one. Wait, what happened to that? Right? Yeah, man. Same thing. Obviously I did this, right? So I know, and I went through the exact same experience. And that's why I love what I get to do. because it's beautiful when you get to see someone else go through the same thing.
Yeah.
And sit back and be like, oh my goodness, how did I live like that for so long?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah. Before.
And be like, man, something so simple. How was going through a TMS session? Tell me that.
Oh, it's painless. You lay there. The machine does all the work for you, literally, and it's one of the most relaxing things I probably have had done ever. And you don't even know it's happening. That's how simple it is.
There was a question somebody asked me: is there therapy, like hardcore therapy, attached to this, Kyle? How would you answer that question?
If you want there to be.
No. Right?
Yeah, no, I know you have a therapist on site, you have a doctor on site, you have all the necessities, or need anything that someone needs, you have it here. You're amazing that way. But no, I would say there's no therapy needed at all. If you want there to be, I'm sure you would arrange that to happen, but there's no need to go. It literally, it's like Tetris. The blocks start falling into the spots on their own, and everything starts to kind of just work its way out.
Yeah.
And you have to be patient with it. It's not going to happen overnight. Don't expect to come into one TMS session and be like, oh, I'm going to be fixed, or 1 week or 2 weeks. Get through your full session. But once you're through your full session, compare how you felt from day one to how you felt at, week 40 or whatever it is. And you're going to go
week 8.
It's week 8. I'm sorry. 40 sessions on your 40th session.
Long?
Yeah. On your 40th session. And then you're going to go, here we go. I feel totally different.
That was so well said. I love the Tetris analogy too. I've never looked at it like that, but you're absolutely right. Once you hit that, one session could take out 4 lines and you're like, hey, wait, what happened?
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
But it could be your 20th session. It could be your 30th session that happens on.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh man, yeah. I love that analogy.
Yeah.
I'm going to use that moving forward. Do you mind?
Yeah, it's all yours, baby. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here,
I love that
man.
analogy so much.
Yeah.
So painless, right? No unnecessary therapy pushed on you. I remember so many times. So every 5 sessions, we want to sit down with the patient and go over an EEG and look at your scores and talk about your brain. And I remember there was a few times you would hit the back door exit and just be gone.
I would jet out of here. Yeah.
My staff. How is my staff?
Oh, they're like family. They are like family. Literally every time you walk in, greet you by first name. Always know what's going on in your life. And I mean that in a good way. They always are just, hey, how's your family? How are you doing? How's the day going? It's it's so warm and fuzzy here. It literally is. Like, I admire this place as a fellow business owner. You run this place with your heart and soul, man.
Thank you.
Because they are really, everyone I know has been handpicked by you, because they're amazing.
Yeah.
They are amazing.
That's a big deal to me, right? Again, going through it, when I put it together, I was like, no, this is what I want.
Yeah.
And it made it real easy because I've been through it myself,
Yeah.
I mean, needless to say, you would recommend Inland Empire TMS to anybody struggling, right?
I have already. Yeah. I've already made a couple recommendations to a couple friends and people in the program that I see in AA that are struggling with other things. I just don't know if they've gotten over here yet. I hope they have.
Like, I can't say if they have or haven't.
No, I know. Maybe we'll have to set up like a referral program. I'll make sure they're going to see Kyle right now. Good.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
But I would say my overall TMS experience has been way more than I ever expected it would be. It blew I literally came in thinking, like you said, I was going to get a couple boxes checked off, and I got all these other benefits that ended up being a byproduct of it. And it was amazing. Absolutely amazing. So.
Well, that's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sitting down. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, thank you
I appreciate
for having
it.
me.